Hey, it's Mega, aka the Art Messiah, here to save you from your art sins. Welcome back to another art stream. Today we're going to be working on some comic pages for my fan comic of the Battle Network series. The goal for today is to finish this page right here, page number 17. And then I also want to try to finish as much as page 18 as possible. And if there's any free time, we're going to start working through pages 19, 20, and 21 as well. But let's just see how far we can get. I'm just trying to be consistent with working on comics at least a little bit every night. And I'm trying to find the pace and the amount of work that I can reasonably get done, within a 1 hour, 2 hour time span. I can be one of those artists that can kind of work for a long period of time and kind of be in the zone, but sometimes just like an hour session or 2 hour session seems to be like the sweet spot. And so now it's kind of understanding how much work I can get done within the 2 hours so that I can start to build a buffer of pages, so when I'm not able to work on comics as much as I am right now, I'll have some stuff to rely on and still be able to be consistent with uploading and telling a story consistently. That's something that I want to build and develop within myself and then also my audience. So one thing that I think is very important as a creator, as an artist, is to be able to trust yourself, to be able to complete something, and that in turn allows other people to trust your work and its consistency. So we're figuring all that out right now, but anyways, the entire point is to be consistent and show up for yourself, and in turn kind of showing up for other people too. But that being said, let's see what we can get done today. Welcome in. Hope everyone's having a great week so far, and let's just hop right into this one. As per usual, leave your questions in the chat, and if you guys are working on something and want to talk about it, feel free to use the chat, and let's get to it. Yo, what's up? What are you working on? I'll just give a brief description. It is a fan comic. It's a remix, I guess, is maybe more accurate, of the Battle Network series. I will go ahead and post in a link so you can read the about and all the fun stuff. It's probably a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but I don't know, it gives it a quick overview, and it's also a good way to just check out the website and kind of see for yourself what's happening. And I don't know, I'm a visual person, and I like talking through drawing pictures, so I don't know, take a look at some of the pictures and see if it sounds interesting to you. But essentially it takes place in the world of the Battle Network series, but I am essentially creating some new like locations and sets, and creating some new characters as well, and then we're going to incorporate some of the like pre-established characters as well. Each of them has kind of an arc of their own, and has like their own story. I do think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited about the type of story that I'm telling this time, and well, actually I'm excited about all the stories that I'm working on, but I think this one is very essential right now, I guess, just with the landscape of technology and the internet and how we view both of those things and interact with both of those things. Anyways, I think it's really good, and I'm trying to put my best foot forward into creating this. So if the about section or the artwork seems interesting, feel free to follow along. It is completely free to read and check out, so if you don't like it, it's okay. There's no pressure to like it. Also, this is like a way for me to practice storytelling and whatnot, so when I go back to my main story, I just have a bit more skills, and a little bit more of like the comic making experience. And so yeah, even though I haven't done it so far for the prologue, I want to like actually try redrawing some panels from the actual manga to get more practice about those kinds of things in terms of line work and toning and word balloon placement and whatnot. I'm trying to absorb basically as much skills as possible. Nice. Good luck with your comic. Thank you. I appreciate that. How about yourself? What type of things are you into? Even if it's not art, what are some of your hobbies or things that you are enjoying doing currently? Also, in general, how is everyone doing this week and tonight? But also, if you guys say something and I do not respond, it's not because I'm purposely ignoring. I'm probably just locked in or haven't seen the chat, because I have the chat on a second screen, but I'm also using my second screen for like reference and whatnot. So just a heads up. But I will probably respond at some point in time before the stream is over. So. Let's see here. All right. I draw digitally for fun. Been drawing for 6 years now. Whoa, okay, nice. I watch YouTubers like yourself for art tutorials, so thanks for helping out. No problem. I, even to this day, I still watch a bunch of YouTubers for art tutorials and whatnot, and I wanted to throw my hat in the ring for a couple reasons. There's some personal reasons. Wait, how do I delete points? Hold on a sec. There we go. Let's do that. For me, I've like tutored since high school, and I actually realized during tutoring that I'm able to retain information a lot better when I teach it to someone else. And so I started doing art tutorials to kind of cement the information that I already know, but also to increase my skill set as well, because through teaching you get a very clear picture of what you do know and what you don't know. And it's not until you're really put under the spotlight like that, and in this case I'm putting myself under the spotlight, until you really like hone in on what it is that you need to actually learn or practice, or maybe you thought you were pretty clear about something, but going to explain it, you realize that you haven't actually maybe cemented the information in the way that you thought you had. So I actually encourage, even if you don't like post it anywhere, creating tutorials is a great way to actually learn, which sounds strange, but you don't have to be at a certain level to start to talk about the things that you've already learned or understood. And the great thing about doing that is that you then have a landmark of how your understanding has improved over the years as well. So it's not just like oh, like you don't know anything and now you know everything. It's like it's a linear, gradual process to learn drawing. So that was definitely part of the reasons of doing this. Is it's a self journal, and it's a way for me to like cement the information that I know. But then also on the flip side, I learned a lot from watching like some of the beginning YouTube artists like Mark Crilly and Cartoon Block, and all these artists that already had like a professional career and were creating art tutorials. And so I really enjoyed that. I picked up a lot that way, and I wanted to basically learn all I could about comic making, and there was still so much mystery to me even via watching those channels. And so even back then I was like, it would be really cool to do tutorials on this type of stuff if I learned those things. And as I've kind of grown as an artist and whatnot, and have done a lot of research into the process of making comics and manga, I feel like even though it's not at a professional level, I feel like I can give some insight to people that are looking into making comics, manga, or webcomics that I wish I knew I had. So it's kind of like a way to hopefully give back. So I'm happy to hear that some of those videos are helpful, and hopefully they continue to be a help to people. I just want to inspire people to continue to draw and have fun with it, especially in this age where it's like, you can, I don't even really want to talk about it, but yeah, AI is huge and whatnot, but I just want to give people the inspiration to be like, you can not only do it yourself, but you can have a lot of fun just creating and drawing and making comics, and it doesn't have to be I don't know, you don't have to put too much pressure on it. You can just have fun and learn to draw, and it is possible and doable. And these live streams are literally just that, a place to come together, have a chill time, and to just work on things that we love and we want to do. So that's just a little bit about myself and a little bit about this channel and my aims, my goals and my hopes and dreams for what the channel is supposed to be. And yeah, okay, I need to add in, let me figure out how I was doing this before. If I have an example, let's use my comic. Accomplish this by just using some white out. Kind of did a poor job of planning this. Like, I had an idea on my thumbnail, and then I got a little bit too excited about the drawing and did not because I'm considering about the eye movement direction, and my worry is that the eye is going to move quickly back up to here, which is fine, but I need to make an arc of movement, so I think this at least is going to have to come over some, and I mean, I could use this picture to bridge the gap between these two panels. So we're gonna need to try all this out for a second. So what's here? Okay, I'll do that. What was this supposed to be? This was supposed to be our whiteout, which is good. We will still make use of that, but we gotta bring that. Well, like I said, it has to be outside of this. It needs to be like right there. Okay. I'm probably breaking some comic making rules right now, but I'm just gonna go with it for right now. Don't judge, I'm still a newbie at some things. But I'm also kind of realizing like it's okay to make some mistakes, because how else am I going to learn and see the vast improvement if I don't make some mistakes at the beginning of what to avoid in the future? Okay, so we do something like this. Hopefully this is enough of a frame to get people to realize that, hey, he's still talking on the phone. Yeah, I think you can learn a lot via the tutorial thing. And, at the beginning, you might want to try to think about a lesson that you just learned. Try to teach that lesson. Doesn't even have to be like you have to create a video. Try to, if you have an art buddy, whatever, try to explain that concept to that friend. Even if they already know the concept, you can go back and forth explaining the concept to one another. And then what's really cool about that is that you can actually start adding in your own theories and ideas and your own way of teaching it. And over time, over the years, you're gonna create just this whole library of knowledge that's uniquely your own because you've spent some time with it and you have put it into practice. You've taught it. You just have a lot more experience with it, so it's going to give you a lot more depth when it comes to the art that you create and how you explain it. Okay, so there's probably some issues with the artwork here and there, but I do think that I am mostly at a place where I can add some tones, so we're gonna maybe see how that goes. Well, either that or I might work on this page a little bit. I might do some inking over here. I think I might do some inking over here first. Oh, and actually, small, but he is missing his bag, and we cannot forget about that. We have to add that in here. We gotta add in this little bag. All right, sorry for the delay, but the question is there a specific practice that helped you take your art to the next level more than anything? Yes, but also it's a little general, meaning you can use this practice in a lot of different ways, but timed gesture studies to be exact, but the caveat here is that it doesn't just have to be like human drawing. There's this one practice that I kind of developed for myself that I always come back to, and it is this timed practice, but there's a couple of things that I add to it, and I call it basically like the Mega Man way of learning, which is basically in Mega Man, you would face a boss, and you would repeat said boss over and over and over again until you defeat the boss, and then you gain their power, or basically you would copy their ability. So basically what that looks like applied to drawing is that you would do a timed study of some subject matter. I will use gesture drawing because that is the most like fundamental drawing practice there is, and I do think, even if it's just drawing the human body and anatomy, you can apply that to drawing objects, to drawing cars, airplanes, buildings. The idea is to basically take a look at a reference and then be able to quickly get the gesture down of that reference onto paper. And there's different time segments you can do. You can do 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you would like to choose. But the additional step that I add is that, okay, do that time study, but then get rid of the reference, get rid of that first drawing that you made, and then try to do it from memory. And so what this forces you to do is that when you're actually doing that observation from that first part, it tells you, or it forces you to focus up. Like, don't just draw it just like, oh, you're just going through the gestures. Actually observe what you're drawing, observe the relationships between the lines and how they flow, so that way you can replicate it even when the reference is not right in front of you. Okay, and so doing that repetitively is going to build up your visual library. And then what you're going to be able to do as a further step is that you should be able to then rotate that gesture drawing in your head and then be able to draw that again. And then practice doing that. And it's going to look wonky and weird, but if you keep practicing it, it's going to get better. And a way to make sure that it is, specifically getting better and you're making progress, you can use a 3D model, and so you can check yourself. So you can take that gesture and say, okay, I understand it in this view, rotate it in your hand and try drawing it. Then rotate the 3D figure and see where you made mistakes, and that's going to help fine-tune how you understand the form and the gesture. You're going to realize that, hey, you know what? I thought the arm kind of moves like this and rotates like this when you view it from another angle, but actually it looks like this. And that's going to train your brain. Basically, you're going to have this great feedback loop of observing, understanding, and outputting. So there's this process of input vs input versus output, and you're checking both with each other, and you're making adjustments to your output as you go along. And this will especially if you're going for accuracy, this is going to develop your ability to be able to draw things accurately. Then when it comes to style, that's just something that you need to journal a lot about, and I don't think style should necessarily be a goal unless it is like you're working on a comic and you know for sure that you want it to look a certain way. I feel like if you're just having fun with drawing, experiment. Like I don't think style should be your goal or your focus. And so it's naturally going to come about as you study from your favorite artist, from real life. Understand what colors you're drawn to, understand what shapes you're drawn to, understand what subject matter you're drawn to, and don't just kind of take it at face value. Start to dig deep into why those things seem to matter to you. Are they evoking certain emotions or certain feelings, and how does that make you feel? Do you really like, exploring feelings of sadness or happiness? Like, all these things are really going to inform your art style, because it's basically you reaching inside of yourself and understanding how you feel, why you feel, and what you want to portray. And then that's really going to kick you up to the next level, so to speak, of art. And when I think of next levels, it's really just about how closely can you get to true expression of yourself. And so leveling up is, to me, is not really a technical thing. It's more of a like a feeling thing, more of a like an emotional thing. Like, how powerful is your pen, is your imagination, is your connection with yourself. And that's when you know, like, okay, I've made progress, because you're closer to the things that you want to express. Anyways, that was probably long-winded, but the short answer to your question is to do time gesture studies and then try to draw them from imagination without looking at the reference, and try to do a little bit of that every day, even if it's just like a 5 to 10 minutes. Just try to do that every day, and then see what happens after a month, and you're going to be pretty surprised how more fluidly and quickly and more, I guess, enjoyably you begin to draw. And yeah, just see what happens with that. Let's see. Yeah, you're welcome. Let me know how that goes for you. If it ends up being helpful or not so helpful. I do think it'll level up your artistic abilities, but everyone's different. Everyone's drawn to different practices and exercises. So like, if that doesn't work for you, don't, I guess, worry about it or don't stress about it. You may find something else that works for your artistic journey. Okay, I think we're gonna start kind of winding down here. There's still some tones I need to get to for this page, but I think I can probably hit that for another session. For now, what we got done today was just cleaning up some of the panels, doing some of the fills of ink, and we kind of did some of the text dialogue balloons. We also did a little bit of drawing over here in these two panels, and I think I will call that a success for tonight. And one thing that I am going to try to be better at for myself is to just really appreciate the progress that I make every day, instead of being too down on myself that I'm not working quickly enough. And yeah, so we're gonna have a little bit more grace, I guess, and really appreciate all the work that is going into it, and the fact that, you know, stuff is not gonna necessarily gonna get done like super quickly. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than, you know, you anticipate or would, you know, like, but that's okay. That's all part of the process. And the fact of the matter is, as long as you show up a little bit every day, that's going to be worth way more than having a really good session one time that you feel like you get a lot done. So anyways, I want to thank all of y'all for hanging out with me. It's always a blast, you know, whether it's you know, a long session, short session, a ton of people, few people. I appreciate just being able to hang out and draw, and it's always a good time. So thank you so much. Thanks for all the questions. And let's see, is there any other closing statements I can make? I don't really think so, but again, you can find me in the links section. It'll be in the comments, and so you can get to my webcomics. You can get to my Instagram. Of course, I have my stuff here on the YouTube channel. And so yeah, that's about it for announcements. I'm not really good with closing remarks, so I think we're just gonna stop there. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and good luck to all of your future endeavors, your projects, your school, your work, you know, whatever it is that you got going on in life. I just wish you the best of the luck for the rest of the week, and I hope it's a good week. Pretty much that's it. So until next time, I want to say peace, love, and deuces. And good night, y'all.